Hi, you all. Welcome to my YouTube presentation. My name is Destiny Hutcherson, and I will be just talking a little bit about digital imaging and photography. It's chapter 17 in the book, and it's pages 209 to 216, I believe. Um, a couple reasons why I chose to do this video in black and white. Of course, my topic is digital imaging and photography, so why not try something different? Because, we can use digital imaging photography for different reasons image wise, as far as editing, colors, schemes, and things of that nature. And black and white is kind of classic, so why not do something different? I don't think Professor had any problems with us using different colors other than, maybe not blue or green, but using a different color such as black and white for our presentation, especially because I'm dealing with digital imaging and photography. Another reason why I decided to do black and white is because through this presentation, I'll be using a MacBook that I had in undergrad, which is an older model MacBook. And just wanted you to compare and contrast this presentation as far as resolution and quality compared to other students or other classmates who use maybe an iPhone 6 or 7 or an Android phone or a MacBook Pro, which is more current and has, a better quality resolution and quality. And so my point in that is proving that, digital imaging has changed with the technology, and to just show you how far we have came, where we are now, and how far we have to go. So that's my little spiel about why I chose to use a MacBook. Something that's not as current as, another type of technology, and also why I chose to do it in black and white. Hope you enjoy. So we can just turn to the next slide. Just some cool facts about digital imaging and photography. Of course, digital imaging and photography is one of the most popular visual mediums today. With technology, we all have used some form of digital imaging in photography, whether it been a digital camera, the use of your camera phone, your smartphone, of course. Or using it through your laptop. So we all have touched it, we all have used it. Some of us are professionals in it, so it's something that we use in our everyday lives, so that's why it's so popular now. Just some cool facts about it. We will take 1.3 trillion photos in 2017. 80% will be captured by mobile phone. Of course it will, because it's literally attached to us at all times, so why not? Digital images are uploaded to social media platforms all day, every day. Snapchat, we upload to Snapchat around 8,796,000 photos per second, which I believe because I'm always on my Snapchat. So with Facebook, we upload 350 million photos a day, and Instagram is around 7 million photos a day. Just a little another fact that I found when I was doing my research. Self-City conducted a study in London and found that 5.6% of all images taken in the city was posted on Instagram and were selfies, while another 20% were portraits. And excuse me if I'm talking too fast. I can't help it. I'm working on it. So I'll try to slow down when I catch myself talking extremely fast. Also, it has been said that we're obsessed with ourselves. So of course we take 1,000 selfies a day. We're always using the filters and everything for our selfies. And also it said that we're using cameras on our smartphone more than ever to document our daily lives. So I read an article and it said, there's no more the big brother is watching us, because we're watching ourselves and we're watching everybody else through these channels as Facebook and Instagram. We really want everybody to know what we have going on all the time. So it's really no such thing as big brother now. And it's kind of pretty, it's pretty scary now that I think about it. We do document a lot of our personal lives through these technologies such as our smartphone and our laptops for everyone to see. And so, there's no distinction of privacy now. So it's just something to think about, as I progress through my presentation. Continue to the next slide. So with the basic, what is digital imaging and photography? It's essentially data, ones and zeros. Anything that is digital is made up of ones and zeros. It has the ability to take, scan, manipulate, disseminate, track, or store images in a digital format. And our book says that the digital image is made up of discrete pixels, ultimately malleable and traceable. And throughout the book, I noticed that they were talking more about digital imaging photography from a personal use. Digital imaging can be used for many different reasons, for selfies, for family portraits, to medical x-rays, and also digital satellites in the military. But I noticed that the book mostly focuses on the personal use of digital imaging. So that was just something that I saw that it was interesting as I was doing my research with the book also. The next slide is about the history. So we're just going to back up a little bit, back to regular photography. The first photograph was taken in 1826 and created by Joseph Niepce. He used a technique he derived from experimenting with a newly invented lithograph process. He named the process heliography, which is Greek for sunwriting. Also, Kodak sold his first Brownie camera for $1 in the early 1900s. Can you imagine buying a camera for $1? Like how many cameras we would have? But I'm sure back then, $1 was a lot of money to some people. So, it was a luxury item back then. But that's crazy how it was only $1 back in the early 1900s. So for the next 150 years, photography continued to prosper. Cameras did not change that much after the early 1900s until digital photography. The first prototype digital camera was made by Kodak in 1975, which, it's 2017. It doesn't seem like 1975 was that long ago, but it really was. So thinking about the dynamic of this class, I'm sure some people were around and remember the first, digital camera prototype. It was the size of a toaster, and the resolution was 0.01 megapixels. So to dwell on that, I remember getting my first digital camera back it was probably around 2002, 2003. And before that, we had, most average Americans had, the throwaway cameras, the disposable cameras. And, the disposable cameras, you had to develop the film, get the film developed, drop it off at CVS or Walgreens, and then go back and try to remember to pick the pictures back up that you took. So it's interesting that the first prototype was, made in 1975, but digital cameras weren't really bought until I think maybe like the late 1980s, the early 1990s, and then the new millennium. So that's interesting to see. Okay, to the next slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first selfie. Sorry, excuse me. This was the first selfie. It was recorded in 1839 by Robert Cornelius. He removed the lens cap, ran into the frame, and stopped still for 5 minutes before running back and placing the lens cap. So I got that from the book, and I got this picture from a website when I googled the first selfie. It's funny that Robert did all this because, before there were selfies on the camera phone, before really the camera phone, we used our digital cameras. And, the digital camera had a timer on it. So I remember like setting up the digital camera in a spot or like on a table or something, then pressing the button for the countdown, then running back into the frame of the picture by myself or with whoever, and seeing it flash and count down until it was time to take a picture, and standing still and smiling until the flash went off. So it's funny that he did this, kind of something similar to what we used to do back before we got selfie sticks and camera phones. So that's interesting to know. And just some pros. The next slide is about the pros and cons of digital imaging. Some pros are the ability to store digitally, easy to share, ability to edit. It's mobile. You can take it anywhere, really, and it's less expensive than using a camera or getting film developed. Some cons are copyright infringements, ability to screenshot using laptops, computers, mobile phones, and software. It's easy to manipulate with different editing software, and also if it's duplicated too many times, depending on what system or what you're using, you can really lose the quality, picture quality of a digital image, depending how many times, like I said before, it's duplicated. Another kind what really stood out to me is, with digital imaging, it's easy to copy, it's easy to manipulate, duplicate, and this causes, like, people are getting their identity stolen because of someone has stole their digital image. So that's really, it's a safety hazard also, and it's a great concern because, people are catfishing people out here, and it's easy to just screenshot a picture of anything or anybody and say that's you, even though it's not. Like I'm sure you have seen the show Catfish, how people can Google your image and find your picture and see what it's linked to. Even with Facebook, which is a scary thing, with Facebook, someone sent me a screenshot of another Facebook profile with my picture, but it wasn't my profile picture. So basically someone had stole my picture and used it for their profile picture on their Facebook, which was probably like some type of scamming they were trying to do or something of that nature, or some type of virus they were trying to put on people's computers or whatever. So it's just interesting to see how, with the digital imaging, you can really be cloned to be somebody else that you're not. So continue on to the next slide. So we're going to talk about the recent developments, the future, and the job market of digital imaging. Some recent developments that have been developed are digital sensor improvements, dual lens camera phones, 3D picture capturing, which is very cool because now you can put 3D images on basically anything from coffee mugs to mouse pads to t-shirts. I have a friend that prints digital 3D images on t-shirts and sells them, and he's doing really well with it, and it's crazy how clear and 3D-esque it looks on a t-shirt. So that's very cool, and something that technology has given us to be able to do that. That's a great thing. The world's largest camera expected to be completed in 2022 in Chile at the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope project. Each panoramic snapshot that it captures is expected to show an area 40 times the size of the full moon. Technology is so great. God has given us this technology to, work miracles. We can do anything with technology now. So that's great and innovative that, people are interested in this type of thing and doing it for a great cause. Also, Adobe Lightroom is noted as perhaps the best photo editing software since Photoshop. Everybody loves editing. The most popular digital imaging app for cell phones are combine apps that combine pictures with other pictures, videos, and things of that nature. Also, computational photography, which uses a lensless type of technology to take pictures. It's really cutting edge. Also, just a cool fact that I found out through the book. For the first time in 40 years, the White House tourists are able or allowed to take pictures with their compact digital camera or their mobile phone. The lens must be shorter than 3 inches on the digital camera before you can be able to use it. So this is very cool because for a long time, when you visited the White House, you weren't able to take those pictures. You weren't able to use your camera phones to video record or take pictures or use your digital camera. So it's glad that they had I guess it was safety restrictions on it. So it's good that now we can do that. Also, and it's crazy that the first lady, the former first lady, Michelle Obama, she Instagrammed that you are now able to take those pictures and those videos inside the White House. So it's crazy how we use social mediums to express things or show things. Like our current president uses Twitter a lot now. So it's crazy how, technology has transformed and we're using these type of mediums to communicate with each other. Let's talk about the growth job market. The growth job market for digital photographers, it's only going to grow about 3%. We're our own photographer. There's really no need for digital photography anymore. Anybody can be an artist. Anybody can be a photographer now. We have the tools. We have the tools that we need. We have the technology that we need. All you have to do is, maybe look at some YouTube videos of different types of editing, how to edit with Photoshop or different softwares, and also how to use a camera. I mean, we have different options on our cell phones, like portrait mode or landscape mode or panoramic. So, there's really no need for digital photography. And times are hard, so people want to use what they have to make an image great or make a photo great. And we have that ability now. We're self-sufficient enough that we don't really need digital photography as much as we did probably in the past, because everyone now is up to date and learning how to use those digital mediums themselves. And also, a little fact from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it said that this growth rate is slower than the average for all occupations. So, you can tell that if you're looking for a job in digital photography, you might want to look for something else with that, in addition to that, and see where, you could, be of greater help and also still love what you do. Continue to the next slide. So I found some statistics on digital cameras, and it looks like digital cameras itself, kind of like digital photography, as far as the job market, it's decreasing. People aren't buying digital cameras anymore. They're not buying DSLRs anymore, or mirrorless cameras anymore. People are just buying smartphones. I upgrade my smartphone probably once every year. Or once every 2 years. People are upgrading their phones, getting phones, because they see that they can not only make calls or text messages, they can actually take great pictures on their smartphones. And as you can see on the graph that, compact digital cameras were on the rise from the early 2000s to like around 2009. Then it started to decline, and people started to buy smartphones more. The smartphones are in the yellow or in the orange, and then you can see the compact digital is in the blue. And you can see a little bit of the DSLRs, how they spiked a little bit, not too much because those are expensive cameras. But you can see how that spiked a little bit, but it didn't last that long. And mirrorless, not a lot of people even know what mirrorless cameras or mirrorless function is. So they weren't buying it like that. And those are also expensive. And the lenses are expensive with those cameras. If you have a great, if you have a Canon lens can cost you up to $500 to $1,000. That's high. So, people was like, no, I can just use my cell phone and get the same image. May not be as crisp quality as a Canon with a $500 lens, but comes pretty close for the average person who just wants to have these memories on their digital camera. On their have these memories digitally on their phone or on their laptop or on a flash drive or save somewhere. So just while I was doing this, I posed a question to Twitter, on my personal Twitter, to see why people thought that digital cameras were not as popular as they once were. So Gregor46 from Twitter said cameras and photo gear are way too expensive now for any hobbies, which is true. Like I said before, cameras are expensive. The Canons, the Kodaks, all those cameras, they're pretty expensive, and people now want the best bang for their buck. And digital cameras are not really that, unless you, like I said before, are an artist or photographer who takes professional pictures for different reasons. Other than that, there's no really need for an expensive digital camera when a phone can do the exact same job. Rodney Kilo from Twitter also said, we no longer want to take pictures to print and put in physical albums. We want to share them online, of course, as fast and easily as possible. The cell phone has the path of least resistance, which is true. You know, my grandmother has photo albums. I don't really even have. I have probably like 1 or 2 photo albums with pictures from middle school and high school from prom, but I really don't have photo albums. I don't remember the last time I got pictures printed from anything, not even my cell phone. So we're not really using physical albums anymore. So there's no need for really a physical digital camera. You know, we want to share these. We want to share these pictures online, of course, like I said earlier, through social media, through Snapchat, through Facebook, through Twitter. So, you know, it's easier to do that from a phone than from a digital camera. That's basically it. Next slide. The book touched on, you know, things making a comeback. So Polaroid pictures are making a quick comeback. Millennials are becoming more interested in the rustic and nostalgic Polaroid look of the early 1990s. With that, vinyl sales have also risen by 260% in 2009. So film photography may experience a similar bump. I went to a store and I did see some Polaroid cameras, but they also have a digital twist to it too, where you can print out, you know, you can manually get the picture right then, and also it has a digital chip where you can send it to your email also. So I think millennials, we like the look of things. We like the look of nostalgic things, just to take a blast from the past, I guess. Similar to like the Jordan shoes, you know, Jordans were popular in the 80s and 90s, and they died down a little bit. Now everybody wants Jordans again. And it's essentially the same Jordans, but a different twist, but everybody wants those Jordans again. Or like high-waisted pants and bell-bottom pants, which are making a comeback. I think some things come full circle again, so you never know. We might start using digital cameras again. Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know, but it's something the book talked about. It was the use of Polaroid cameras. The next slide. So, with this is my question to you guys. Since screen capturing and manipulating images that are not yours can be detrimental if the intentions are not pure, i.e. duplication of offensive or inhumane images, should the ability to screenshot or edit images you did not take be restricted based on the use, or monitored based on what the image is, why or why not? Like I said before, you know, it's easy to get someone's picture and claim it as your own now. You can edit it. You can write on it, manipulate it, change things, change features in a picture. And some people who do this have good intentions, and some people that do this have bad intentions. So with that, you know, should that be monitored? Should we only be able to screenshot certain things? Should it be copyright protected on some pictures, on all pictures? Like, what is your view on it? So again, the question is, should the ability to screenshot or edit images you did not take be restricted based on use, or monitored based on what the image is, why or why not? So just something to think about. Again, thank you for tuning in to my presentation about digital imaging and photography. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I didn't talk too fast. Hope you were able to catch some points. And if you weren't, and you can always, you know, double back to my PowerPoint presentation. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you.